Bloomberg Audio Studios.
Podcasts, radio, news.
Fans of the popular morning radio show The Breakfast Club know that co-host Lenard McKelvey, better known as Charlamagne Tha God, likes to dip his toes into various sectors, whether that's writing a New York Times bestseller or serving as ambassador for the food bank for New York City. Well, now he has expanded to artificial intelligence by investing in AI company MeetKai, where he will also be a strategic advisor to help the company drive growth and engagement for content creation. I'm pleased to say here in studio for more on this is TV and radio personality Charlamagne Tha God and Peter John Alexander, Chief Business Officer of MeetKai. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
I got to start with you, Charlamagne, because MeetKai bills itself as an immersive AI company. What have you seen from your perch in traditional media, in radio, that gets you excited about offering your content on MeetKai's virtual world?
Well, for me, I felt like it was the next level of what the interview experience will be. Like right now, somebody's watching this on television, but imagine if you could actually be in the room, as a part of a VR experience as we're, having this conversation. Or even, with Breakfast Club, we've been around for almost 15 years. So when you think about the catalog of back interviews that people like, whether it's the Soulja Boy or Birdman or whatever it is, any of those conversations, you can put yourself in the room of those conversations. And I just feel like, that's where social media is going, to have that virtual reality experience of actually being next to the person that you're watching instead of just watching them.
Right. It's a whole new way of experiencing it. So, Peter John, if this is the metaverse, and that's kind of what Charlamagne was describing, how is it similar to or different than what Mark Zuckerberg has been building out and, frankly, not making a lot of money on?
I think Meta and what Mark has been focusing on is the hardware aspect, which is extremely difficult. And what they've been able to accomplish since they've started is truly groundbreaking with Oculus. Apple obviously stepped into the ring as well. And to Charlamagne's point, we've been really focusing on software and how that changes. When we met about a year ago, we talked about what the future of social entertainment is, and we believe this is one aspect. And using our immersive platform as well as our intelligence platform, the convergence of AI and these immersive experiences is what that future will be.
I like what Charlamagne was talking about with regards to maybe being kind of like the fly on the wall as he's doing these interviews and stuff here. But explain to me, like, how, as a user, how I would access. Am I going to need like a VR type of device, or is it something that can maybe be done just on a regular phone or a regular computer screen?
So great question. Yeah. What's great about our platform and what we've really focused on is mass user adoption. So being able to be in the browser, being device agnostic. So being on your phone, being on your computer, being on your tablet, being in a VR headset, working anywhere is what matters. Mm-hmm. So if you can bring the best-in-class experience with unbelievable visual fidelity and anywhere, it's going to get the most people there to experience what we're trying to build.
Sure. So Charlamagne, though, is something like this, though, let's just use your show as an example. Is this like the kind of thing where, like, I would even be able, as a user, maybe even ask a question or somehow interact with either you or your guests while you're doing the interview, or is that not how it's going to work?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Because it's like, when you see the live streams that people have now, like Breakfast Club goes live now. Like we'll go live on YouTube or Instagram Live, and you're able to ask those same type of questions there. So it's the same thing.
Okay.
So this is your first foray into AI. I'm wondering what kind of audiences you think being accessible on MeetKai will allow you to spread your brand or allow your brand to reach out to that you don't already through your syndicated radio show?
Well, I think nowadays, remember back in the day they would say if you build it, they will come. Nowadays you have to meet people where they are. So everybody's going to be in these spaces anyway, so we might as well meet them where they are now.
And of course, part of the value proposition of someone like Charlamagne involved in MeetKai is the kinds of creators and influencers that he can bring to your platform. Can you give me a better idea of what you're looking for from that end?
Yeah, not only that, and relationships, and we've talked a lot about that, but the wealth of knowledge that he has for being in this industry for decades. And his approach to what we're building is going to be instrumental as it relates to our success. So we've talked a lot about, the people that he's interested in bringing to the platform, and I can let him speak to that, but we've worked with some really big names, right? From the NBPA to BYD. Mm-hmm. There's new worlds coming online that are focused solely on the consumer end, from the Detroit Pistons to the Pro Football Hall of Fame to Florida State, mixing AI and immersive for the future of education. And then we also have, as I talked about, that convergence is pure play AI that will power these immersive opportunities that Charlamagne was saying, being able to talk to someone regardless if they're a human human or not. One of those platforms that's really exciting that's built off of our AI is Ask ROI, which goes live today. So built on Functionary and our family of models here at MeetKai.
So what are you looking to bring, Charlamagne? Like when you talk about the types of additional guests and just really the type of people that are going to be platformed on this?
Everything, from podcasts to, comedy shows, the live podcast aspect is something that really intrigues me because, we all tune into our favorite podcast every week. I have a podcast network called the Black Effect Podcast Network, but imagine if instead of just, watching it on YouTube, you can be a part, like you said, a fly on the wall of the actual show every week.
Yeah, and I'm all in on all these podcasts. Did you see the Call Your Daddy girl got like $100 million?
Oh my God, $155 million.
Are you ready to renegotiate your contract?
Also, too, another good experience is the audiobooks, right? Because, we all like to listen to audiobooks nowadays, but imagine if you could just sit there and sit at the feet of your favorite author as they're actually performing their audiobook in front of you. I just think that makes the whole experience, of listening to audiobooks better.
I am curious how you and Peter John hooked up. Did you approach him because of the product, or did he reach out to you because of your experience in media and all the business ventures that you had?
Man, some things are just God. Like I was we was in Cannes. Cannes last year, and I was just sitting around at an iHeart party, and
as one does. Okay.
And him and James approached me, and they told me about the AI thing, and I was just having a conversation about these visions that I've been having about what I'm talking about now, and they were like, "We're already doing that." So it was just kind of a natural collaboration.
How much AI do you dabble in right now?
Not much. ChatGPT is about as far as I've been going, and now MeetKai,
And in terms of timeline, Peter John, what are we looking at before we start to see Charlamagne on MeetKai's various platforms?
So I think very soon. What's special about our platform and what we've been able to build is how fast we come to market. Where traditionally I think people approach building these experiences as video games, and I don't think that's the right way to do it. We focus on using AI at every turn to make these experiences faster and better in every way. And that allows us to kind of have development times that are days and weeks as opposed to months and years. So I think we've been talking about the vision of what's to come, and I think you'll see some exciting things very soon.
Just one final quick question, Charlamagne. Like when we talk about like sort of the future of these shows here, so do you see a vision where maybe these shows won't be just on radio or even on radio at all or even on TV, that maybe they will end up on sort of a MeetKai type of platform, just like that?
They're that way now. Like none of these shows exist in one space anymore. Like I said, you build it. People aren't just going to come to you. You literally have to meet people where they are. So for example, Breakfast Club, we're on the radio, but we also come out as a daily podcast every day, and we also put out clips on social media, and we're on YouTube. So that's why we have the audience we have. You're talking about 8 million monthly listeners on terrestrial radio, but then 15 to 20 million downloads a month on the podcast, then the YouTube, then the social media. So you have to exist in all of these spaces nowadays. You take one piece of content and serve it up 20 different places.
All right, and you got a lot of content. Have you talked to Birdman lately?
No. No.
All right, we'll leave it there. Charlamagne Tha God and Peter John Alexander. Charlamagne investing here in MeetKai, a new virtual world platform, if you will, that maybe is the future of media, Scarlet. Maybe we should look into this.
I think our kids will look into this.